Hi, I'm Coral Rose Sunshine Barrett.
And I'm Dylan Bradbury Holmes.
And you're watching On the Mission Trail.
You're watching On the Mission Trail, a student-produced news magazine on McKay TV. And now, On the Mission Trail with your host, Coral Barrett.
So Coral, what do you have in store for us today?
Well, today I'm going to be digging into the roots of our community.
Don't forget a shovel.
Don't worry, I am well prepared.
Well, you better head off if you want to make it to Moss Landing on time.
Oh, true. Well, my helicopter just arrived, so perfect timing.
All right, well, let's see what's happening in Moss Landing.
Hi, I'm Coral, and we're here in Moss Landing with Marilyn, and we're going to learn a little bit about the history of Moss Landing and her history with Moss Landing. So first off, tell me a little bit about the history of Moss Landing.
So Moss Landing started as a whaling station on the Central Coast prior to California statehood. And my great-grandfather, Cato, arrived here from the Azores in Portugal as a seafarer. That's what he did. And he came here specifically for the whaling. So this was the beginning. And they started building warehouses and piers and docks to that purpose. And the little town grew around that.
Wow, so tell me a little more about your personal history with Moss Landing.
So I grew up here and in the same house that my father grew up in, and his father before him grew up in. The family began life in a location other than where I lived, but quickly moved further inland across the slough. So we've been here for as long as Moss Landing's been here, essentially. We just were among the early settlers after Charles Moss sort of came out here from Boston and set up shop, also a whaler. So that is really where it began. Whaling played out pretty rapidly, and we became farmers and dairymen and whatever paid the bills, essentially. And then the generation of my father moved completely away from the land in a way. He became a school teacher, and so did his sister. So we've stayed local in the area. So yeah.
Did you know that dead people can get goosebumps?
We'll get back to the history of Moss Landing, but first, let's take a look at a dog show in Carmel.
Hi, I'm Coral, and we'll travel to Carmel Valley to tell you about the Big Dog Show. Hi, this is Coral, and we're hanging out here in Carmel Valley at the Del Monte Dog Show. And today we have Hap, the head chairman. So tell us what's going on here.
Well, we have 1,000 dogs coming Saturday and Sunday to compete for obedience, for rally, and for conformation in different areas of dog shows. There are many avenues there's also agility, which we hold trials out at York School in June. And this week, rally, obedience, and conformation.
Wow, incredible. So how long has this been going on?
Since 1908. We are one of the oldest peninsula continuous sporting events. There were 2 years during World War II that we didn't hold shows, but otherwise we've held them every year since 1924 for sure. So
how long have you personally been a part of this crew?
I've been a member of Del Monte Kennel Club since 2007, but I've been doing dog shows since I was 13.
So what is your particular role in organizing it and everything?
I am the one that has to be responsible for the whole shooting match. I have to make sure we have porta potties and golf carts and the tenting, the fencing, the people that run the show, the day of show parking. It's all on my shoulders.
So where does everyone come from? All around the world or locally?
We have visitors from abroad. We have a couple that I met today from Spain, but primarily they're, California, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. And I talked to a lady from Montana this morning, so we have them from other states than from here. So we have professional handlers also that in the confirmation part that will have dogs owned by people that live out of the area. And so we may be represented by many states, but of the almost 200 breeds of recognized dogs, we'll have 133 of them on display this weekend. So.
For a short time, the planet Uranus was named George.
More on these pups later. Now we go to MPC to talk with the director of the Fantastics.
Hi, I'm Coral, and we're here at MPC Theater with Justin Gordon. So first, let's learn a little bit more about you. So tell me about your history with performing arts.
Okay, I am a professional actor and director. I have been working in the business in some capacity professionally for the last 20 years. And I have been teaching at MPC this will be going into my second year coming up in the fall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. So what else have you done? Any other shows that stand out that you've been in or directed?
Here at the college, last semester I directed a production of Hamlet that was very well received. We had sold out performances virtually every night. And locally, audiences may have seen me at Pacific Repertory Theater. Mm-hmm. I've done several of their Shakespeare festivals for them over the years.
Oh, wonderful. So what is your next show that is coming up?
The next show that's coming up is a production of The Fantastics. So we're heading into Tech Weekend right now, and it's very exciting. It's looking great.
Right, so fantastic.
Yeah.
So how did you guys end up choosing this particular show?
MPC has a tradition of doing a summer musical, and last year they deviated from that track and did a production of 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas. But this year we really wanted to bring a musical back. Mm-hmm. Something classic, something approachable, and something that the audiences know. And so The Fantastics actually is the longest running musical in the history of theater. It ran for 42 years off Broadway. And it's an audience favorite, a crowd pleaser, and so we decided to put it up this year.
Did you know that music has the ability to repair brain damage and return lost memory?
Now returning to Moss Landing to finish up that interview.
How has it been growing up in the industrial hub of Monterey County?
It's always been a little bit, Moss Landing is a little anachronism, really, because it has always embodied some kind of industry or, people have always sort of looked askance, I think, at things like whaling and certainly power plants, first oil-driven and now natural gas. But that just is where Moss Landing is in the perfect spot on a coastline for those enterprises. So, it's been kind of a back and forth, a little bit of a tug of war. With the advent of the Nature Conservancy on the Elkhorn Slough in the early 90s, we began to see some changes where there was an interest in returning the slough to a wetland. My family has kind of straddled those causes because my grandfather championed dredging the harbor, trying to get bigger boats in there, certainly to get the big tankers in to pour oil into, the old tanks in PG&E. So it's, I would say that it's a bit of an anachronism, Moss Landing. So, but it was a fantastic place to grow up. I mean, it was just kind of, we were freewheeling little kids all over the place, up and down the slough. So now, coming back as an adult, there are sea otters out there that were never there before. There are cormorants that were never there before. So it's been really kind of nice to watch it evolve. I don't know whether it's evolving or going back. Either way, it's been an interesting process.
So how else have you seen the slough maybe physically change over
lots
time?
more water. There is a lot more water in the slough than there ever used to be. Yeah, so a low tide is not as low as they used to get. We used to be able to virtually walk across it when the tide was low, and now we have king tides that were never there, and that's a factor in climate change as well. So there's just a lot more water, which leads to more sea life, which leads to more mammals, which is sort of makes it a lively place. I sort of characterize the trees behind my house as sounding like Jurassic Park at night. There's so much life back there. So.
Wow, so I can see that there are lots of quirky, cool parts of Moss
yeah,
Landing.
absolutely.
So
Yes.
tell me a little more about some of the specific quirky parts of Moss
Well,
Landing.
we've always got the human element has always been colorful in Moss Landing. And that doesn't seem to change. It really doesn't. I mean, we're sitting in the courtyard of one of the neatest galleries in the whole county right here, Kim Solano's Old Enchilada Galleria. And it's, so people sort of congregate in these little pockets, that are not, there's very little judgment that goes on here. So it's been always been lively.
Well, it's been wonderful speaking with you today and having us here in your wonderful little quirky town.
Did you know in the 1830s, ketchup was sold as medicine?
Let's get back to those pups.
So we're here with Pam from Salinas, and she's here to tell us about her dog. So how long have you been part of the organization?
I've been training with Del Monte Kennel Club I've been a member for 6 years, but I've been training dogs since 2002, so a long time.
So what's it like to partake in this event?
So this is one of my favorite events to participate in because I get a chance to do some really fun things with my dog at the same time showing how versatile she can be. It involves a lot of teamwork, that the dog is paying attention and learning, and so that's why we do it.
So what's your dog's name?
This is Ticket.
Oh, wow.
She's a 6 or a 5. This is Ticket. She's a 5-year-old Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. She's the smallest retriever out of all of the retrievers. And she has been training since I got her when she was 6 months old. She has done obedience and rally, which are the 2 events that are up here at the field today.
So how old is she?
She's 5 years old.
So has she won any events?
She has. She has a number of titles. She has a number of obedience titles. One of the things that I really love about the obedience and the rally sports are that it can be a competition for you and your dog personally. That means that although there are placements for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the ring, as long as the dog meets the criteria for qualifying, they can earn titles. And so Ticket has earned several obedience titles and several rally titles.
Well, thank you so much for having us here, and wonderful meeting you and Ticket. So how's the dog show?
In 1981, a black lab named Bosco was elected mayor of Sonoma, California.
And now let's meet our crew.
Hi, I'm Mariana Fuentes.
Hi, my name's Coral Rose Sunshine Barrett.
Hi, my name is Dylan Holmes.
Hi, my name is Adam Villasenor.
I recently graduated from Carmel High School.
I'm a Soledad High School graduate.
I am a senior at Salinas High.
I'm a graduate from Millennium Charter High School, which is partnered with McCate. There I learned everything I know about media and production.
I've been in McCate for 2 years. I generally have done broadcasting. I've also done editing and reporting.
I got involved with McCate through a class that I had. I did mostly filming and editing.
I got involved with McCate last summer by doing a report on how the families were impacted during the Big Sur landslide.
And going on in the future, I hope to continue in the field of media and go to college for it.
In the near future, I would like to pursue a career in technical directing.
I'm planning to attend Lewis and Clark to study international relations and psychology.
I want to continue with this field because it's something that interests me and I want to learn more about it.
Did you know that Japan has over 50,000 people over the age of 100?
Coral's in Carmel. Let's see what she's up to.
Hi, I'm Coral, and we're in downtown Carmel at Muse Gallery on Ocean and Monteverde with Simon Bull, the artist. And we're just going to ask him a few questions today about his art. So first off, tell me the definition of artist to you?
Artist? Well, an artist is somebody that points something out to another person.
Wonderful. What about art? How would you define art?
Well, when I was at school, that was the big topic of conversation. That was back in the 80s. The big question was, what is art? It's sort of one of those indefinable, difficult questions to answer. But really, an artist is someone who prepares a meal for someone. It's like a chef. I describe myself as a chef of the retina, you know. So art is a feast for the eyes, you know. Well, painting is a feast for the eyes. I gather colors and textures and the sights and sounds, as it were, of nature, and gather them into a package and present them to people.
Wonderful. Well, so I read online that you traveled a lot as a kid. So how do you think that your travels to Hong Kong or in Germany and Ireland, how do you think that helps you to formulate the artist you are today?
Well, you know, when you're exposed to lots of different cultures, it's very interesting. As the saying goes, travel broadens the mind. But you see people responding to the world in ways that are both the same and a little bit different. And your experience to the sight and sound and color of different continents and, you know, the color of the jungle or whatever, and the mountains of southern China, things like this. So, you know, you experience different things and it kind of feeds into your art, because you realize that with art, let's say I was painting a tree, well, you have the ability to speak about a tree, which is a common sight to anybody, but say it in a unique way. And so when you're also exposed to different cultures, you're able to see that people have the same daily routines and experiences, but they respond to them just with a slight twist, which actually makes life more interesting.
Did you know Earth was once covered with mushrooms that were 24 feet tall instead of trees?
Did you know Kashawa has a fair? Let's check it out.
Well, hey, Heather, what's going on
Hi,
here?
here we are at the Kashawa Fair, and we've got all kinds of things going on. Silent auction, great barbecue put on by the Kashawa Fire Department. We've got kids activities, horse rides, face painting, beer and wine, live music all day long, and everyone's out here having a good time, fun in the sun in Kashawa at the Kashawa Park. And we're also doing raffle, and there's all kinds of fun things to be had here. Hot dogs, nachos for the kids, soda, water, beer and wine for the adults. The barbecue includes tri-tip chicken, and we have veggie portobello. And then we, let's see, it's just really a fun time out here. There's tons of vendors, lots of good things to buy, and we hope to see you next year.
Yes, is this the middle of the July thing?
This is usually in the middle of July, yes. Today's July 14th. It'll probably be around the same time next year.
So what website would we go to find out more information?
Kashawa Community Center has a Facebook page. We also have an email if you have any questions, kashawacommunitycenter@gmail.com.
Did you know that if your DNA was stretched out, it could go from the moon to the earth 6,000 times?
Let's see what local artists are up to at the Carmel Valley Art Association.
Hi, I'm John Aliotti of the Carmel Valley Art Association. Today we're having a little get-together of some of our artists and valued customers that are coming by to see some of the changes we put into the gallery. We feature artists that do oil, watercolors, acrylics, we have glass blowers, we have sculptors, we have jewelers. We try to carry an assortment. We've been awarded for several years now with Chamber of Commerce Awards for Best Gallery. We've been awarded from the Monterey County Business Association as the winner of the Technology Award just 2 years ago. So we're proud of what we do. instead of me just talking about it, you know, we have 40 artists here. I think the best thing for us to do is to take a stroll through the gallery, and I can tell you about some of the artists.
Hi, I'm Shelley Aliotti. So this is our gallery. My husband and I, John, you might have met him earlier, but we've had this gallery, well, we've had a gallery for 14 years. We've been in this location for 8. And you can see that I really don't like color very much. I love color, and I've never worn anything that wasn't bright. So we have 40 artists in our gallery. It's a wonderful place. We don't let you in unless you're a lot of fun and that you can cook well. I had art classes all my life, and when I went to college, I said, I don't need to take art classes. I already know what I want to do. But then years later, I decided I needed to use the computer. So I went back to school at 40 plus something, and I took I took 2 degrees. I got a studio art degree. I went to a local college. I got 2 great degrees. And then I decided to just open my own gallery. So I told them I didn't need to go any further. I was done. So then I did a children's book, and we started this gallery 14 years ago, and the rest is history. We are very happy here. We love our artists, and Carmel Valley is a great place to come visit. It's beyond the fog, and it's really friendly out here. First of all, start hitting all the galleries. It's so much fun. And you know what? Just throw everything at you that you can imagine. Take classes in Japanese painting, take watercolor, take ceramics, take photography. Something's going to hit, and it's going to make you so passionate. And you have to take classes. And you know, my kids both they didn't know exactly what direction, but they knew they were going to be artists, and now they're both in animation and movies. So stick to it. It's great. Come look at my stuff. This is my wall of color, and enjoy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Want to know something crazy? Pope Francis was once a nightclub bouncer.
Well, that looks fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, let's get back to Justin Gordon.
Right. So how big is the cast this year?
Cast of 10 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. So what have been some difficulties that you've run into while directing this performance?
I would say the major difficulties, it's a play that everybody knows, so how do you reapproach it and make it fresh again?
Right.
That's been, I think, the biggest challenge, but I've got a great company of actors, and I think we've done some reinvention, and I think audiences will be pretty pleased.
Right, so without spoiling anything, how can you tell us some of the new innovative things that you try to put into your performances when you create them?
That people will have to come see. I'm going to be coy about that. And just we've gotten creative with some staging. I have a fantastic team behind me. My choreographer, Nicole Carfesi, is fantastic, and she staged some beautiful dance numbers. And we're having a good time.
And that's it from MPC, so now let's go back to the studio.
Back to the fair. Let's see what's popping out there.
Big parties.
Yeah. And it's just great fun. Mostly it's a locally advertised event, but like I said, we have our Facebook page also.
Now, let's see what some local artists are up to at the Carmel Valley Art Association.
Hi, I'm David, and I'm a new artist here in the Carmel Valley Art Association. And this is some of my work, photography. I mostly do nature, landscape work, but I also do other kinds of photography. And for me, photography is about the beauty I see and the love I feel and experience when I connect with something out there in the world. And these help capture those intimate moments of wonder and delight. If you're a new photographer, new into photography, or aspiring photographer and think this is something you might enjoy doing, I encourage you to pursue it. It's challenging, but at the same time, it's very fulfilling. And if you love what you do, basically just pursue your dream. And whether it works out or not, it's following your passion. So I truly encourage you to pursue whatever your passion is. And hopefully, it's photography. And now we're going to take a little look at some of my work that's hanging here in the gallery. On the left, this is an image from Pfeiffer Beach at sunset, just when the sun is showing through the portal at the beach. This only happens during a short window of time during the year, from the beginning of December to about the second, third week in January, when the sun is far enough south to see it, or north rather, to see it actually setting through the window. And to the right of that is actually another image from Pfeiffer Beach after sunset. A lot of people pack up their gear once sunset occurs, but some of the most beautiful light can occur after sunset for the next 30 minutes or so. So I encourage you to stay out after sunset. Even if you don't get to photograph anything, you can enjoy the peace and wonder and beauty of the evening sky. If you'd like to see more of my work, you can see it at my website, www.rainbowspirit.com.
Now, back to Simon Bowles' gallery to learn more about his art.
Tell me a little bit more about Muhammad Ali paintings that you did.
Yeah, well, I was invited with a bunch of other artists back in 2007 to submit some paintings of Muhammad Ali for a particular project. But the pieces that I actually did caught the eye of Muhammad Ali and his wife Lonnie, and they selected me to do a whole series of paintings specifically for them, for a lot of their events at the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville. And so I ended up painting a whole series of paintings of the life of Muhammad Ali, and traveling on the road with him and speaking at events for them, and ordering in pizza, which is like my highlight, ordering in pizza with Muhammad Ali. It's kind of fun, yeah.
That's fun. So who else have you made paintings for?
Well, I painted President Obama. Muhammad Ali commissioned me to paint joint portraits of himself and President Obama, because President Obama was inspired by Muhammad Ali, and when he was a senator he had the photo of the Liston fight on his wall. And so I created these dual images with Muhammad and with Obama together in the same photos to sort of show the relationship. It was kind of fun, and that was, so Ali commissioned me to paint those as his gift to Obama for the inauguration, so that was kind of fun.
So tell me some advice that you'd like to give to youth artists or struggling artists.
Love that question. So one of the things that I tell young artists, I say, that don't try and make a really good painting. Try and make a bad painting. And you'll never do a good painting until you've done at least 100 bad ones. So try your hardest to do really, really bad art is literally the best advice I can give, not just to children, but to anybody who's trying to do art. Because everybody's trying to do good art, and there's no such thing as good art. But when you try to do bad art, it flips a switch in your brain, and all of a sudden your body is flowing and you're producing this really bad art, which somebody will think is amazing.
Right, because everyone has that different perception of things.
Yeah, because the thing is, we have a quality control issue. We're trying to be Rembrandt, and we can't be Rembrandt. You've got to be you. And so by switching that part of your brain off, it allows you to be much more expressive.
If you'd like to check out more of his amazing artwork, you can check out the link below. And back to the studio.
Wow, what a day.
Sure got here fast and went to a lot of places.
Yeah, and I met some incredible people doing very innovative things.
I bet. Did you bring your whole wardrobe?
Basically. I told you, I was very prepared.
I guess so. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
And thanks for watching On the Mission Trail.